You know me, it's the MIC Craig, aka Mr. Impact. I'm not sure what this is, what it's called, what we're doing here, how this is going to be, but I thought I should jump on and do a little video. It's been a while, especially now with the recent news. So we're going to talk about Scott D'Amore and TNA and this whole mess that's come about with the TNA thing. It's confusing. I didn't know what to expect from it, to be honest. I don't know why it happened. Obviously, the reasoning behind it, from what I've seen and heard, is that Anthem wants to take a different direction and Scott D'Amore wants to take another direction. So, what that means for TNA going forward, I don't know. Then, TNA Wrestling has a new president, Anthony Ciccone. I don't know. Apologies for butchering the name. I haven't really looked into him. All I know of him is that he's currently head of programming, I believe, at Access and HDNet and all that stuff. Not sure on his exact role, but it is a confusing one. Scott D'Amore spearheaded this TNA resurgence. TNA is back because of Scott D'Amore. Let's not get it twisted. Yes, there's a lot of people involved in the backstage stuff, behind the scenes stuff. You know, you've got the likes of Tommy Dreamer, I believe, is involved, Gail Kim, the producers of the show, of matches, etc., etc. But Scott D'Amore was the real driving force here. It took a long time for TNA Wrestling to get back to where it is currently. And the fact, overnight, Scott D'Amore can be gone, and there's a new person in charge of TNA and the day-to-day running of TNA Wrestling. Now, again, from the statements that's been put out via Sean Ross Sapp, via PW Insider, all those, it seems as though TNA Wrestling is going to be under a more entertainment-driven ownership and entertainment-driven in general, not so much on the wrestling, from what I understand. Again, I may be wrong on that front, but from what I've read and what I've heard and what I've seen, it seems to be that. Honestly, I'm trying to wrap my head around this whole thing. Scott D'Amore, as I said, he was the driving force behind TNA. He made that incredible speech at the end of Bound for Glory. TNA Wrestling, we're fucking back. And all of a sudden, that person is no longer involved with TNA Wrestling. Now, once again, going back to what I've read about the talent side of stuff and how they reacted to it, the talent were lied to, apparently. They were told that Scott was stepping down, but then all of a sudden Scott's fired. And a lot of them were a bit pissed off, to the point where it's discussions are now being held according to, again, this is all according to sites and different statements. Coming from Tommy Dreamer, well, not coming from Tommy Dreamer, but coming from reports that Tommy Dreamer has stated that if talent want to leave and want their releases, that's a conversation that can be had. So we could lose some talent here, all because Scott D'Amore's no longer there. Now, I know this is wrestling, and wrestling, it could mean something else other than Scott being fired because of disagreements in how they want TNA to move forward. But I'm trying not to speculate here. This is all what I've read and heard from media on social media and on different videos and statements from people. It is a tough one, because I want to support TNA and I will support TNA. I'm happy that TNA is back. Without Scott, it seems a bit weird. But at the end of the day, I'm a TNA fan. I want Scott in charge. I want Scott around. But if that's not possible, then I'm willing to give this new ownership, or the new president, a chance. I don't know much about him. doesn't seem to have any history in wrestling in general. So whether that means he knows nothing about wrestling and is purely going off a TV perspective of running a company, I don't know. But I'm, as I said, I'm going to give them a chance. I said it many times on many different things. If there's one company who's earned the benefit of the doubt with their decisions, it's TNA Wrestling, Impact Wrestling. And yeah, I've seen on the backlash, majority of people annoyed that Scott D'Amore was the one who was fired, but also just it's such a confusing situation that seemingly came out of nowhere, and the backlash from the fans, you know, I think some of it is a bit of an overreaction in terms of people saying they're cancelling their flights for No Surrender coming up and every show they've booked for, and they're not going to watch anymore. They've unsubscribed from the YouTube channel. They've unfollowed wrestling. I mean, TNA closing the comments down on the original statement didn't help matters and didn't help speculation, didn't help anger from fans. But I hope this all goes well. If you follow me, you know that I said if this comes round to bite TNA Anthem in the backside, then I might be done with wrestling. TNA is the reason I'm a wrestling fan, and if this has a negative impact on the running of TNA wrestling, then yeah, I think I might be done with wrestling in that sense. I hope not. As I said, I'm going to give it a chance. In a recent statement from the new president, from the new TNA president, stating that there's many surprises and many things coming up in the coming months. It's a wait and see game, but I'm optimistic for now. You know, I imagine most of this stuff was planned during while Scott was still with TNA. So maybe this is still Scott D'Amore's work, and we'll see it all play out. Also, there's a lot to be excited about in terms of people coming in. We've got Mustafa Ali coming in. You've seen the spoilers, you know, people who've debuted at the Orlando tapings. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Interesting being the optimum word, I think, as to what happens with TNA wrestling now. I hope it sticks around. I hope it all goes well. I really do. TNA is on such a rise at the minute. You know, from the announcement, it really took off. I was lucky enough to be at the UK shows, the Coventry dates anyway, and the atmosphere. You know, it was still Impact Wrestling then, but not one Impact Wrestling chant. It was all TNA, all TNA. Yes, we lost a few talents along the way, but we knew it was coming. Contracts, etc., etc. Don't know. Can't go too deep into it because I don't know anything about it that much. It's an unfortunate one, but I'm like as I said, I'm gonna give TNA a chance still because I love TNA. TNA made me a wrestling fan. You know, 12 years almost focusing on wrestling. But yes, I guess we'll go for that. But anyway, I'll have to wait and see what happens with all this. And if you want to subscribe to me on here, this will be. I'm not, as I said at the start of the video, I'm not sure what this is going to be. Whether this turns into a regular thing of a YouTube channel on my own, or maybe I'll bring some people in. But unfortunately, no more TNAW, no more TBN. But I'll still be around. I'll still be doing stuff a lot more now, more frequently now. And yeah, subscribe here, follow me at Mr. Impact Craig. You know the deal. If you're here, you know who I am. If you're not, then everything will be in the link below. I've been the MIC. Until next time, catch you later.